Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Talk Tobago. I'm Amadara Mills. In this week's episode, we're doing things a little different. We're coming to you from the Center of Excellence, Macoya, Trinidad, at the Trade and Investment Convention, TIC 2022. So join us as we bring you all the highlights of Tobago's participation at this 3-day business expo. Besides the actual convention, Tobago had a significant role to play in the opening ceremony. The Chief Secretary, Honorable Fali Augustine, was also present. Take a look.
Oh, hi. All good things must come to an end. But this not where the story close, but where it been. Are we resolute that Tobago ready for invest and connect? All the sectors that been dormant, are we resurrect? The non-traditional fractions of the economy have proven to be of good importance. That is why we have pushed them to be in a place of sustainable resonance. That is what AWE is all about. Sustainability, direct investment, and trade. Because we products and services don't exceed the passing grade. But let me not keep all here no longer. Just find a Tobago booth and discuss how you could partner. So on your mark, ready, get set, go! Immerse yourself and invest in a Tobago. Track your bow, Mr. Fiddler.
TIC is a catalyst that generates business opportunities, especially for firms in the non-energy business community of TNT. This year, the convention will be celebrating its 23rd year as the region's largest business-to-business event. Significantly, it will be the first physical TIC being held in 2 years, and the fitting theme is Business Resilience. The event represents an assembly and celebration of participants who have demonstrated flexibility, dynamism, and resilience in business.
TIC, the Trade and Investment Convention that we have every single year, barring COVID, provides opportunities through which businesses, local, regionally, and foreign businesses, can actually collaborate with each other, share knowledge, and partner with each other. That's the biggest opportunity coming out of TIC that you should not miss this time around. For us in Tobago, we wanted to show up this year, just like every other year, but we wanted to show up in an even bigger presence this year. And so I am proud to say that Tobago, as a singular unit, will be managing the single largest block within the convention space. And that's because we were purposeful in saying this is an investment that we wish to make for our small and micro enterprises on the island of Tobago. We have also recognized that we have to look beyond the usual things we seek to trade and begin to look at, for example, the creative sector. And I'm sure you observe the dancers, the speech band members. They are part of what Tobago wishes to offer to the world and that Tobago wishes to monetize. And we hear all this fancy talk about the orange economy, but we have to invest more in the creatives in order to earn from them.
The Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association must be commended for developing this invaluable platform which brings together manufacturers, service providers, buyers, distributors, financial institutions, investors and regulatory agencies. Your success has positioned the Trade and Investment Convention as the Caribbean's premier business-to-business trade show. This year's theme, Business Resilience, is quite appropriate. Resilience is key to not only recovering but doing so quickly, but also to maintaining the flexibility and perseverance to thrive and developing the capacity to expand and adapt to disruptions and threats that will come in some shape or another in the future.
Lend me a part to play, Joe, bring it. Lend me a part to play, love way. Joe, bring it, lend me a part. Hey, Joe, bring it, lend me a part to play. I said, lend me a part to play, sing love way. Yes, mom. Joe, bring it, lend me a part to play. Joe, bring it, lend me a part to play, love way.
Can you give us an idea in terms of probably the number of exhibitors, the number of visitors that an event like TIC could possibly have or has had over the years?
The last time it was physically done, they had on average over 17,000 visitors to the exhibition. So it's pretty big. This year, for example, there are about over 30 countries represented at this TIC, of which Tobago is a part.
And that means, Tobago being a part is a lot of potential for our businesses and, various business deals and so.
Yes.
So can you elaborate a little bit more on the objectives, the benefits for the Tobago contingent that's down at TIC?
Right. So specific to this year, our Chief Secretary has the vision of putting Tobago out there. So we are under a theme of connecting, investing and activating investment in the Tobago economy specifically. With that in mind, we have some of the larger entities displaying at TIC this year, including Studley Park. You have the Tobago Performing Arts Company, which brings a different dimension to the whole TIC experience. You also have TADCO, which is the Tobago Agribusiness Development Company that incorporates a whole lot of different Tobago products and brings some of the smaller producers, the products of the smaller producers, under the TADCO brand. So where we are focusing on providing alternatives where food security is concerned, it positions TADCO to be able to take advantage of that. You also have, well, I mentioned Studley Park already, you have the Shore Park Complex, you have the Tobago Information Technology Limited, where they have already started engaging the Trinidad markets with some of their products. You have the medical life alert device that they can use. They also have different technology products that can not only compete but really establish Tobago as a possibility for the BPO market. And we also interact with InvestTT, and they will tell you that the BPO market, business process outsourcing, the call centers, and we know 211 is famous. That is one of the hottest areas in investments in the whole regional investment push right now. So we have a mix of that, and we also have the SMEs who have come to TIC over the years and have gained, where you now have entities receiving contracts regionally like Tobago Media Concepts. They have engaged regionally over the years as a result of being at TIC. You have persons like Keston Pope from Savor the Isle Punches, who now has his products in extra food supermarkets and some of the larger chains. You have JMac Industries, who does the support brand label. They have also been part of the Trinidad markets in a big way, and now we are looking for regional distribution contracts for them. So there's a lot of activity that will happen as a result of TIC. We've been here, this is the second day of TIC, and already we have results that we're going to look to cement, that you will hear in the Tobago space about some of the successes that these young people are having. We also have the Tom Tom's local confectionery, and I know everybody knows that Tobago is famous where sweets are concerned. Now we have the sweets packaged in such a way through a collaboration with the Ministry of Trade and the Export Booster Initiative that Tom Tom's has been able to benefit, change their packaging, change their formulation, come up with the recipes and stuff, that now these sweets, these Tobago sweets, can go out to the international markets and still be fresh, relevant, and able for months on end. So the possibilities are endless, the potential is there, and we look forward to taking advantage of it.
Well, thank you very much, Tricia, for giving us that wonderful overview of TIC, as well as, the benefits that it has for Tobago. So we're now going to take a look and, interview some of the businesses that are present in the Invest Tobago booth. So come along with us. How do you feel, Cassie, about being able to showcase, your pieces here at TIC?
Well, I must say it's a very good opportunity, and when you get an opportunity, you grasp at it. It's all about being exposed, the exposure.
And could you tell us, in general, would you have gone and visited any of the booths here at Invest Tobago?
I started visiting, yes, and there's more to explore, must see.
Now, from what you would have seen here, what do you think about the presentations and the Tobago businesses and services that are participating at TIC?
Actually, I am impressed. I already bought some stuff that I started eating already, and I have some in my bag to continue eating. So it's good. Good.
Well, I hope you will try the fudge from Tom Tom's local confectionery. I hear that is a very, a #1 seller for that business.
Well, actually, I bought the tambran, and it's on point.
Okay, all right, so that's great to hear. Our local, entrepreneurs, whether it's clothing design, whether it's culture, whether it's our goods and services, we are here and, telling Trinidad that come invest in Tobago. Idea, you've been here before. Tell us how many times you've been to TIC and what has the experience like, for you in the past?
To be quite honest, I cannot remember if it's 3 or 4 times I've been here already, but I've been here quite a bit. And it's always an amazing opportunity for the exposure, to get brand recognition. And coming out of this, I normally get like a lot of person who would be interested in wholesaling the products and stuff like that. So it really is a good experience.
We have laundry detergent, we have multi-purpose cleaner, we have 2 fragrances in the multi-purpose cleaner, we have lavender, we also have a car wash, we have hand soap, and we have dishwashing liquid, all made in Orange Hill Trace in Tobago.
Okay, so coming directly from Tobago, that's really great. Tell us, is this your first time here at TIC, and what has your experience been like so far?
Oh yes, this is definitely my first time, because my boss, which is Mr. Edward Jones, he was actually here in 2019, and it's been phenomenal. I'm really, really excited, and I'm so glad that we're able to actually market our product here. So we're grateful that we're here again at TIC.
And do you have any expectations? I know this is just, the second day. Any expectations, from yesterday, your experience yesterday going into tomorrow, that kind of thing?
Oh yes, I'm actually looking forward to more customers, and the idea that we're actually getting business owners coming and asking about wholesaling and stuff. So my aim and my expectations is actually to get our product into Trinidad, into all the different markets, supermarkets, drugstores and so forth.
Well, for me personally, I have turned into a seasoned trade and investment convention participant, and as an exhibitor over the past 4 years, because this is our fourth time. Over the past 4 years, we have been so successful. Each time we get here, there are specific clients that continuously come looking for us to give them or provide them a certain type of service that they couldn't get from some of the other service providers in Trinidad and more so in Tobago. This year for sure, what we did, because of the strategies that we use to get the type of clients that we're looking for in this convention, as early as Thursday morning, yesterday morning, within the first hour, hour and a half, we were successful. And this is the type of, it's not just a money making event, but it's a developmental event for me as an individual and for the company Tobago Media Concepts.
It has been awesome. And the first time out, it has been awesome. To tell you the truth, I can pack up and go. Because the reason why I say that is that the type of networking that I was able to establish at this event have been really awesome. The support given by the chief secretary as well as the large company owners that are present here have made it a really success.
TIC had opened up a lot of opportunities and market, not just in Trinidad but outside Trinidad. So for example, this year, due to the COVID, one of our main purpose being here is to actually reconnect with our existing suppliers, existing customers, and also look at other potential market outside of Trinidad. So far since we here, up to the booth was a business owner from Barbados who had interest in our product. So they came right knowing what they're going for, looking for, and there is something for me to continue after the event.
This is our first time at TIC. It's excellent. We are able to meet people like Miss Minister Gopi Schoon. That was an excellent opportunity for me. We wish to expand the customer base to other businesses in Trinidad, and for now that's going excellent.
Can I ask, in terms of the visitor response to this booth here, tell us how has that been like?
Magnificent, unbelievable, mind-blowing. Some of the customers from yesterday already came back today.
Mr. Prince, any final words on the expectations, your experience here at TIC so far?
Well, the breakthrough that we are looking for is most of the groceries, like Massey and the other big stores in Trinidad, that they will be here and they will be able to share the experience with us and even taste our product and realize that we are the best. As I said before, strictly the best. Our packaging just gives us a notch above the rest.
So we have here with us Mr. Kevon McKenna. He's the Deputy Chairman of the Tobago October Carnival Committee, but you also were able to view the booths that many Tobago businesses as well as some state agencies have here today. What are your thoughts on our presentation so far?
I'm quite impressed. I had the opportunity to sneak a piece of cassava cake from Tadco. You have to try it, guys. The cake lashing. I also sampled the coffee rum cream from Savor Isle. That was really impressive. So those two items, I think I'm sold on those.
Absolutely promising. It's wonderful. My favorite booth, of course, is this one with the flowers because they make the mix. The cake is divine and the korma is great. And then we had the natural beet and cassava korma there. I met with the guys selling the wines. I mean, it's incredible. I didn't realize all this is in Tobago. And I checked out the handbags from Orsani. The quality is so amazing. That belongs on Fifth Avenue. It's so great. The colors, the material, lovely, lovely. I'm very impressed. And we go to Tobago for the island pool and for Sorbet and Pigeon Point, but this is why people should be in Tobago too. All these wonderful products. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Tell us, you just walked through the booth with your daughter. Tell us, what are your thoughts on, the Tobago presentation?
I was so proud of my Tobago booth, the booths here. And the funny thing, yes, I'm in Tobago, but coming here, it gives me a totally different perspective in terms of what it is we have to offer on the island. And we have a lot to offer, and it's so varied. The artisans here, as well as the technology, as well as the culture. I think this will be a very busy booth.
For me, it was very surprising. I think that it's a good insight for Tobago to actually have a presence here at the TIC. I think it's very well put together. I really enjoyed it. I think it's very colorful, and I can see the engagement and I can see the excitement here. and I think that it will do well.
That Tobago has been very innovative and very proactive in using a lot of locally produced, grown and manufacturers as well. And it's a big showcase for Tobago because it's just more than the traditional Benny balls and the tulum and the whatever. You know, you have the dashing cereal and the pumpkin or waffle mixes and the beetroot korma and what have you. And I mean, it actually shows the sort of innovative people we have within our islands.
Besides the Tobago-based businesses which have been supported by the THA, there were several state agencies. They include the Tobago Agribusiness Development Company, the Studley Park Enterprise Limited, the Tobago Information Technology Limited, the Tobago Festivals Commission, the Tobago Performing Arts Company, and the Shore Park Complex.
The Tobago Information Technology Limited, it's a special purpose organization under the Department of Education. Our main focus is service, right? So what we normally do there, we do business process outsourcing, where we provide service, whatever service it is that any organization would like to have. We are in a position to provide that to them. We are here to advertise or put our business out there so persons may now be aware of the services provided by our organization and how best we can assist them in improving, because our mandate is improving ICT technology in Tobago, but not just limiting it to Tobago but to the region.
And can you give us an idea of the products and services offered by TADCO?
So TADCO recently launched its line of organic gluten-free products. We have about 8 products that we have on display, which includes waffle mixes, pancake mix, fruit cake, kurma, and many other value-added items derived from alternative flour from our root crops such as dasheen, sweet potato, and stuff like that, cassava and so on.
What has the customer response been like to the products, you know, that's offered by TADCO? Because I know a lot of customers, a lot of buyers and so were passing through at the TADCO booth.
Well, today, not only customers were interested, but also investors and distributors. So we had a really overwhelming reception. Persons are very interested in all our products, and particularly they like that it's basically eco-friendly and healthy.
You know, what I was very impressed with is the display that you all have here, which is really, really impressive in terms of all the displays here at the Tobago booth in West Tobago. So can you tell us a little bit about how you all would have decided to do this display?
Well, what we wanted to have done is that we wanted to have a little piece of the quarry here at TIC, right? So essentially, we created one of our major plants that we process the material through the process of crushing, right? So what you see here are the various sizes of the material, the end product, or the end product of each of the materials that is sold to the customer in Tobago.
Can you give us, in terms of the response from, you know, those who are the visitors to the booths, you know, what has the foot traffic been like for, you know, the Studley Park Enterprise Limited?
It's been busy. It's been very, very, very busy, right? We have a lot of offers. We are networking with many of our existing suppliers, and we are inviting new customers into the game of Studley Park, right? We want to make Studley Park the most productive entity in Tobago for revenue, for foreign exchange revenue, especially because, as you should know, we have our Barbados Bay jetty facility that we utilize for export, right? And we are drumming up a lot of clientele here at TIC. It's working for us. We are happy to be here.
And can you tell us, in terms of the Tobago Tourism Agency coming to TIC, you know, why is this important?
It's been very important for us to reach out to the Trinidad people, and it's been amazing. We've had very busy stand. They're very interested in Tobago. They're very interested in the carnival. Look at the display here. I think we've been the busiest part of the show. Every time I've gone to look around, our stand has been busiest.
Now, the Tobago Festivals Commission is one of the state companies that's down at TIC. Tell us, what the significance of this for the Festivals Commission.
So cultural expression is very important to Tobago. It's one of the things that Tobago is known for, and Tobago is currently, we wanted Tobago to be known as the greatest little island in the world actually. And basically what we want to do is market the destination as a cultural destination. We have so many cultural events and activities that people could come and take part in and come and look at and actually learn about the culture and learn about the indigenous events in Tobago. And it's important for, sponsors and partners to get involved with that, because they would also be the ones to elevate the culture and to also allow persons around the world, around the globe, to learn about the Tobago Festivals Commission and also learn about the island of Tobago.
What are the services provided by the Shore Park Complex?
But the Shore Park Complex is the mecca of all performing arts and events for the island of Tobago, and actually the largest venue in the Caribbean. And we host a series of conferences, meetings, training, and of course concerts and events. Shore Park being here is very significant for us because it gives us an opportunity to diversify our clientele, widen our base, and start to now put Shore Park on the map internationally, locally as in Trinidad, and even more regionally. We want to be able to now bring more foreign exchange to Tobago by booking the facility and getting more foreign clientele coming to the island that will boost the tourism product as well.
Right. And today, we had a lot of foot traffic in the Tobago space here. Tell us, what has it been like for the visitors to the Shore Park Complex booth?
Well, we have actually gotten bookings. We walked away today only with 10 bookings thus far. So I think we have already started making some heavy headway in terms of putting the space out there and getting people interested in this space, and I think we did well today.
Right. And Mrs. Charles Panton, what are your thoughts on the Tobago-based businesses that you've interacted with? Because I saw you were talking with Osani Designs. What's your experience been like?
Okay, well, people who know me know I love scents. Right? People who know me, they know I love to buy natural soaps, wax candles. So I easily gravitated to Osani at first. Right, and I'm impressed by the quality products that Osani has. But I must mention the Tobago Agribusiness Development Company, which is a company that falls under my division. I am so pleased with the presentation of the products coming out from the local agro-processors. And I want the Begonians to come out in Tobago. We have them in the groceries, right? Come out, sample the products, not sample, buy the products, support your products. I am doing it, and I enjoy every single product coming out of TADCO. And so far, we are representing Tobago in a big way, right? We're going across the region. We're about to embark on so many initiatives, including exporting flowers in the ton, different flowers in the ton. So come out and just be an ambassador for Tobago.
Tobago has, by comparison, when you look around this space, Tobago has much better products, much better packaging, higher quality than many others. What we ought to do now is to spend some time finding source markets, helping the producers move their products from where they are now all the way to end users beyond the Tobago space, which means that the THA has to spend some of its resources on fine-tuning the supply chain for these SMEs and just getting them in markets outside of the Tobago space. It's about ensuring that Tobago's development can be driven internally by the income we earn of ourselves outside of what we get through the channel with the central government. That we are entitled to, the 4.03% to the 6.9%. But outside of that, if Tobago's development has to be driven in a real way, in a substantial way, what has to absolutely happen is that we have to push our state companies, 211 included, to become much more profitable. That will reduce the amount of subventions the THA have to give to them, but in reverse, they can earn monies that can now go back into capital development for Tobago.
That's it for this special edition of Let's Talk Tobago. Thanks for staying with us as we brought you the Tobago aspect of this year's TIC happenings. As usual, you can email us with your comments or queries about the program. Visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Amadara Mills, wishing you a very safe and productive week.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're viewing us live here in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, right? And we are the one and only youth morning show. And I'm your favorite youth host, Dwayne.
And I'm Luke Trim, and it's Youth Wednesdays, and you know how we just dub it on Youth Wednesdays.
All right, yes, we do. So we want to welcome all our viewers on our varying platforms. And what are some of the platforms we are on, Mr. Trim?
We are on Facebook Live, 91.9 FM, Gale TV. We are everywhere. So tune in. We are everywhere. So Dwayne, the last time we were here, so much has happened within the last 2 weeks.
Boy, you tell me, Tobago really eating up for carnival, for politics, budget, you name it.
The place
Tobago
hot.
is like Tobago is the jack of all trades.
Yes.
And is the eye in the media space these days. But you know, carnival is in the air.
Yes, carnival
is in the air. I mean, I know party animal. I have never been to a carnival except that I've been to Roxborough a few times when I was a child, just watching the parade. That before I was saved, hallelujah. So carnival is in the air, and you know, it seems as if given the short space of time, the administration had to plan this carnival. They're doing quite a good job marketing and so on.
Yes, marketing is excellent.
And I heard that post Miami, New York Fashion Week, they'll be also featured. I heard, so I don't know how true. So Tobago Carnival is making
everything like salt and everything like salt.
Yeah. So I mean, what else is happening in this space?
Wow. Well, the politics has been hot.
Oh boy.
But we'll touch on that. Don't worry. The politics have been really, really hot. And then last week we heard that Burna Boy will be coming to Tobago. So I know everybody is excited for that.
Yeah.
So wow, Tobago has been very hot for the past few days.
Yes. I mean, it's a lot of excitement to look forward to. I just hope that people be cautious and safe in this carnival season. You know, guys, we want to encourage you to continue to support Tobago Updates. We have a lot more for you after we have news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Dwayne and Luke. I am Candice Jackson, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, 14 September 2022. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine challenged Deputy Chief Secretary Watson Duke to bring a motion of no confidence against him when the Assembly Legislature reconvenes later this month. Augustine was speaking during an interview on I-95.5 FM morning show yesterday, where he said if Duke brings a no-confidence motion against him and fails, then Duke must resign. These comments were made following an ongoing public dispute between Augustine and Duke. The Chief Secretary said attempts were being made to meet with Duke to resolve the situation, but to no avail. However, Duke was invited to today's Executive Council meeting, where further attempts will be made to address the problem. On to some other news. 1 month after being promoted to the rank of sergeant, a celebrated police officer is dead. According to a statement from the TTPS, Tobago-born officer Sergeant Dion Garfield Mapp died on Monday, 5th September 2022. Sergeant Mapp was described as an officer who was responsible for one of the highest crime detection rates on the island over the past 5 years and whose commitment to duty was unmatched. Sergeant Mapp was attached to the K9 Operational Tobago Branch Unit. He was 44 years old when he passed away. And nationally, the Ministry of Education issued a statement indicating that there are to be no changes to the list of textbooks used in schools for the 2022-2023 school year. This is following a memorandum issued to principals on Monday. The ministry said it also means that no new textbook editions ought to be required. Meanwhile, the ministry announced a review is on the way for textbooks and online resources to inform a policy on the formulation of book lists for all schools. Additionally, an e-book platform is being explored. And that was your news in 90 seconds. It is back to you, Dwayne and Luke.
Thank you so much, Candice. That was good as always. So, Dwayne, I heard we have a few birthdays today.
Yeah, and few indeed. And who do we have this morning?
Right, to start off the list, we have Mr. Gifton Caesar. Happy birthday, Mr. Gifton Caesar. And who do we have next?
And we have Mr. Andrew Gift, another gift. Quite coincidental, might I say. Gifton and Gift
Yes.
on their birthdays. And finally, who do we have?
We have Mr. Keith Alexander. Happy birthday, and I hope you enjoyed today.
All right. So, guys, that's it for birthdays. We now go over to the rundown, and we have a very packed and exciting rundown for you this morning.
Yes, we do.
Who do we have this morning, Mr. Trim?
Well, to start off this morning, we're going to start it off with the politics. So we will be bringing on Ms. Chanel Felix to speak about the PDP rift from a youth perspective. Then we will have Darian Mitchell, that you will be interviewing.
Right.
And then we will have Miss Rochelle Frank, who participated in the Prime Minister's Best Village competition. And to end it off, we will have Mr. Paul Crooks to talk about World Food Day. So we have some very interesting segments this morning.
Right, indeed. So guys, you heard it. You heard it loud and clear. Just remember, give us the support. Burn up the live, let's see the hands, let's see the fires, let's see the thumbs, let's put the hands up in the air, all the hearts. And remember to share the live,
share the live, share the live.
Cause there ain't no stopping till it's over. I wanna get up out my chair, cause everybody's getting so lazy.
Our security services company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
You're moving your ways.
Entertainment. Yes, we're bringing it to you. Tobago Updates. It's all about the new entertainment show, the VIP Experience, hosted by your boy Snoopy. Tune in every Wednesday from 8 p.m. and on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. We're bringing to you the best Tobago has to offer. We're showcasing interviews, music, and everything that is fun. So join me on Tobago Updates for the VIP Experience. Yeah, man.
Like about to overload. Watch them sexy Tobago woman. Beauty from head to toe in the sun. Skin food don't need no lotion.
Live, the concert.
Says our destiny.
Friday, 23rd September.
The night before Republic Day. She says our destiny to get next to me. At the concert capital, the Queen's Park, Savannah.
Live, the concert. Bravado and his full band.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
People that know going on, you're for young brother, 17th of September, it's all about Dengule in Tobago. Yes, people, Shorty's residence comes alive. Young brother will be performing live and live. All my ladies, make sure and be there because I had to make you feel it.
Dingole with me now. Come the way.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Upbeats Morning Show. You're viewing us live here in Portmore, Scarborough. This morning we are talking about youth in the world of work. Youth in the world of work. And this morning we have a very specialist, a professional in this space, Mr. Darian Mitchell. Welcome to you, Mr. Mitchell.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
Oh man, it's a pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure to see alumni, colleagues on sharing this space and making headways in this space. This morning we are talking about GIS. You are a GIS specialist. So tell us about yourself and your journey to becoming a GIS.
Okay, well, I'm a graduate of the University of the West Indies. I actually began in Mona, where I wanted to pursue a BSc in marine biology. So I was doing biology and geography in my first year. And then something about geography just called out to me. Right. So I made that switch and I began doing geography. And in my second year, we began doing GIS, right? And then I started doing more research. I realized that the Tobago Emergency Management Agency offers a GIS, has a GIS specialist position, as well as I realized that St. Augustine campus was offering advanced, which was remote sensing, but Mona did not have it. So I made the opt-and transferred from Mona to St. Augustine, where I actually pursued geography as well as doing remote sensing. Then I went on to do my MSc in biodiversity conservation and sustainable development. Nice. Now in my final year of my MSc, I actually got into the OJT program, which directed me, ironically enough, towards TEMA. So that's where I began my internship. After my OJT period was finished, I was away for about 2 years, and then I returned in May when the position became available.
Nice, nice. We don't want to get into your newly formed position just yet, but just tell the viewers, what is GIS? What is GIS?
Okay, to summarize, Geographic Information System is a study of geospatial data. So simple as when somebody sends you a location to come and pick them up or to go and meet them somewhere, utilizing Waze, when you're using Google Maps, all of these things are considered to be geographic information systems because they incorporate the roads, the topography of the land, the features of the land, and they merge it all together in order to give you all those layers that we can utilize to make assumptions, to make analysis, to do trends and patterns, etc.
Right, right. And just getting a little bit deeper into the profession, how important are GIS specialists in this space, especially given now where the world is trending towards a more digital, especially Trinidad and Tobago, the digitization thrust to a more technologically advanced society. So tell us about that. How important are GIS specialists?
GIS specialists, it's becoming more and more a necessity in each organization, because with a GIS specialist now, you have someone who can look at spatial data and make trend analysis. So for example, in TEMA, we would know based on trends and or data, we would know that, okay, the northern side of the island is highly susceptible to landslides, opposed to the southwest side of the island is more highly susceptible to flooding and flash flooding, right? So when you're looking at the topography now, the GIS specialist can now say, okay, well, this area will be more prone to flash flooding and the north side is more prone to landslides. So what we will do now is find areas in which we can deploy heavy machinery in the adverse event of a landslide, so we're prepared in order to to respond in such a high or a fast manner.
Right, right, right. And we're moving into your new appointment in TEMA, your new addition in TEMA. In fact, you are added to a team now. Tell us about that journey and how has that journey been for you, that achievement, given that the employment rate globally is at a stagnant rate. How has that been for you?
It was a journey, but I would say I was one of the persons who were highly favored by God, because I actually began my OJT period in my final year of my MSc, so I was working and going to school.
Right.
Now, when my OJT contract was finished, I was called by the public service. So I was working sports and youth affairs for a 2-year period. And then when I saw the vacancy, I reapplied. Now, during my time as an OJT, that 2-year tenure, I would have not just worked with the planning section, because that's where GIS falls. I would have worked alongside CERT, ICT, PR. So I wanted to get a holistic understanding of the agency itself. So that would have motivated me and pushed me and given me the driving factors, because I believe once you understand how every aspect of your agency or your organization is, then that way you can fulfill your role and duties better.
Correct.
Right? So something as simple as that. Now, I'm part of the planning team, so we have the contingency planning officer and we have a new intern, a GIS intern.
Right.
Right? And we work very well together. Our personalities, they actually intertwine. They're great. We work together excellently, as well as the diverse personalities of TEMA bring us together in order for us to complete our task. So for me, the transition was great, and the atmosphere and the working environment is well. And the team that I have is an exceptional team, especially operations, CERT, PR. All of us come together to ensure that we can do our duties to the best of our abilities.
And you have a lot of experience, definitely coming from your studies, transitioning straight into thing. And it's very, very remarkable when you study something and you get to
live that dream.
to live out that dream. It's quite a frustrating thing and quite common for youths that would have gone and spent so much time and money to study, and they come back and they have to settle for something that is not really related to their field of study. But kudos to you, and I want to encourage all the youths, don't keep heart. Something, a door must open, and as the young man said, he's favored by the Most High. So just do what you need to be favored by the Most High, and things will open up for you. You fill a very important gap in TEMA, especially at a critical time where climate change have exacerbated a lot of our natural disasters. What can you say would be some of the mitigative measures? I know you kind of touched on it, but from a geospecialist perspective, what are some of the mitigative measures coming into I think we're on the cusp of the hurricane season.
That pinnacle. Now,
Exactly.
high time.
So what are some of the, from a geospecialist perspective, what are some of the mitigative measures you guys are implementing to kind of, you know, so on? And while you're answering, just remind Tobago, what are some of the most susceptible areas as well?
Okay, so one of our main areas of concern will be the northern side, that's Castara along that road, as well as the windward side of the island. So what we would usually do is, well, with the assistance of the THA, sometimes we would trim the trees, the ones that are threatening beforehand, to ensure that, you know, those in the public domain wouldn't directly affect much persons. In addition to that, if we receive a warning or anything significant like adverse weather or yellow level, based on the intensity, what we would usually do is deploy heavy machinery beforehand, so we know the areas that are usually susceptible to landslides. So we'd have them there on standby, so we'd have a faster response time. In addition to this, we have the CERT 1000 volunteers as well as the CERT team. So we'd have persons within communities out there and ready and willing to help respond as much as possible. Additionally, we would have had the mapping of the emergency shelters. So with the emergency shelters now, we have them set out in almost every community to ensure that if persons don't feel safe within their own homes, they can run forward and go to the emergency shelter. Now, once they are taken into the emergency shelter, we'll receive their data and we would ensure that they have at least a supply of water, cots or bedding to at least sleep on, and blankets at least. And we would usually recommend that you walk with your own food if you have allergies or any specific medication, right? Now, in addition to this, with GIS and climate change now, we would look at the more susceptible areas, so like the southwest, those are more prone to flash flooding, as well as, let's say, Grafton, Mount Irving. You realize that there's a lot of, when the swells are high, it's usually reaching the road now, right? So the coastal zone, I realize, I know they were looking for a GIS specialist, but they are responsible with their GIS specialist. He would be able to look at the area, see how much intake would have been, how much erosion would have occurred, and then they can now make a decision with their engineers to decide what type of brace wall they're going to use there to mitigate that that water coming up onto the roadway. So with a GIS specialist and climate change, what the most you could do right now is just prepare and brace.
Correct. And you see, guys, how important these fields of study, this field of study is. So those who are studying geography and doing environmental studies, there are opportunities here for you. And you know, while doing my degree, it was one of my concerns that there might not be enough room for us. And you mentioned coastal erosion happening. I know there are other external factors relating to those natural disasters and so on. Can you safely say that infrastructurally, Tobago is where it ought to be in terms of, you know, we can't really prevent a natural disaster, but we can prepare and reduce the impact of it. Can you safely say that given your office, that enough is being done to infrastructurally to mitigate against these things? And if not, what would you recommend?
That is a yes and no for me, because a lot of houses would have been built
on the coast,
along the coast itself. So there's not much persons like those can do. Then we have a lot of persons who are building in the higher topographic areas, and there's not much we can do, because sometimes when you drive in, even if you want to widen the road, you realize a lot of persons' homes are adjacent or they're right there to the road. So I believe that going forward in new developments, these are things that they can look at and these are things they can work on. Now, the ones from before, the most they can do, in my opinion, is try to mitigate by doing as much renovations as possible. Now, those within the inundation zone, which is the zones for the hurricane, the tsunami, right? There's not much
they could do.
They can do, but the most we can do is brace for, like, let's say a hurricane or a tropical storm. So, like, ensuring your roofs secured, trees around your homes, they are not able to fall on your home, cut them down, contact a private contractor and get them out of the way. Because in the long run, these things would cost you more before than cost you more after than before.
Right, and I want to come to my penultimate question before we wrap up. oh gosh, GIS. You raise an important issue where there's a need for GIS, even in town and country planning.
Very mandatory.
Right? Because you see people building along the coast, even closest to roads. So if there's a need for a drain of a particular scale, you know, that is the impediment to development. And we know that GIS data informs human development indicators. So what are some of the other recommendations you would like to make to the administration to make these things a priority? Because as you said, it will cost us in the long run to move people from the coast into other areas that are not so populated.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure what I could recommend to them, but I know a lot of persons, they build without the permission of town and country. Right? I know a lot of them would build without that approval. Right? So the most I could do is recommend the public, before you build somewhere, is to go to town and country to ensure that the area that you're living in or you're going to be developing is out of a highly susceptible area. So ensure that, you know, you have how much ever meters away from the road you're supposed to be. If you want to build a 2-story house, I know it's supposed to be a different distance if it's a 1-story house. So simple things like that. So if you want to make changes or renovations to your home, or if there's an emergency and let's say we need to widen the road, this would not really affect you, and it can ensure that development going forward can occur.
Right. I want to thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for your information, and you know, I know you give a lot of hope for a lot of geologists, geography students studying in all the various campuses. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell, for being here. Guys, this is the end of our interview. Unfortunately, we have a lot more for you. Just remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
When you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. This world is getting so cold.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your life can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Your four young brother, 17th of September, it's all about Dengule in Tobago. Yes, people, Shorty's residence comes alive. Young brother will be performing live and live. All my ladies, make sure and be there because I'm gonna make you feel it, feel it.
Dingole, dingole with me now. Come to me.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. It's Youth Wednesdays, and for this segment we will be diving into the world of performing arts. And on set we have with us a Miss Rochelle Frank. A special morning to you, and how are you doing?
Good morning, Luke. I'm good, and how are you?
I am excellent.
That's great.
So you would have participated in the Prime Minister's Miss Lorraine Rivet, my apologies, 2022 competition.
Yes.
So for those who don't know what that competition is about, can you tell them in your own terms what that competition entails?
Right. So it is actually a category of the bigger competition, which is the Prime Minister's Best Village Trophy competition. And that competition basically was formed for different groups to showcase their talent and also to promote community, right? So the Lorraine Rivet is just a category out of that whole competition. There are many different more categories. Yeah.
Wow. So performing arts.
Yes.
What would have been the inspiration for you to get into this field? Because everybody knows Rochelle Frank has the guild in performing arts. So what would have been the inspiration?
Well, I started performing arts in my alma mater, Signal Hill Secondary School. I think I was in 3rd form when I started with Mr. Garnet Lawrence doing theatre arts. But I always used to dance because dancing is a part of performing arts. I used to dance since the age of 8 with the Across the Floor Dance Company. I'm still dancing with them at the moment. But in terms of getting into theatre and, well, the performing arts on a whole, I would have to say it started from 8 years old when I decided to become a dancer. Decided that I like that.
Nice. 8 years old, and look where you are now, still killing it. That is really good. So the competition, how was it? Because I think I would have spoken to you, would have explained to me how hectic, and it really demanded a lot as any pageant. So explain to our viewers how that whole experience was for you.
Yes, it was a lot of work indeed. From after even leading up to the prelims, the prelims wasn't that bad in terms of, because the information that I would have presented somehow would have been in my brain before. And I'm a fast learner, so learning stuff isn't the problem, but actually getting things together, getting past the prelims was one part of it. But then now you're into the big leagues, as people like to call it. You're a finalist after being chosen to be one of the 12 persons to represent, to present yourself. And I was also the lone delegate from Tobago.
Wow.
So that placed a little extra pressure, but everything you handle with grace and you just do your best, which is what I did. And we handled the work pressure. Good.
Lovely.
It was good.
So you would have won Best Evening Gown, Best Hairstyle. So get into the gong, because from the picture I saw, it was a very interesting gong. So explain to our viewers what it represents, who would have designed it, and all that nitty-gritty.
Great. So the name of the gown is National Pride, the Power of a People. It was designed by Miss Marcia Devines and created by Miss Sharon Phillips. And Miss Sharon Phillips actually made that gown in under 4 days.
Wow.
She would have constructed that. And the entire gown really showcased our ancestry as African ancestry, as well as Trinidad and Tobago. Like, for example, the hip scarf that I would have had was made out of black burlap and cowrie shells. And that hip scarf is actually from an African ancestor. So that was a tribute to them, as a homage to them, in terms of placing it on the gown. And the hairstyle that I had, my niece would have braided my hair, the base of it, and Miss Sharon Phillips would have styled the elaborate hairstyle that you all would have seen on the stage. And it absolutely had no hairpins in my hair. A lot of person thinks, you know, probably must have taken a lot, but it had no hairpins in my hair on that day. And that also goes to show the versatility of 4C hair, of our natural hair, that we should also be proud of, right? And the curry shells itself is a currency in Africa as well, in terms of it pays homage to our rich ancestry, our rich culture, because, you know, we need to really remember where we come from in order to know where we're going as a people. You individually as a person as well.
As an African too.
Yes.
Wow. So the symbolism and everything in your dress and your
yes, there are many much more things, but it would be too long of a list.
It would be too long. We will have to go. We have to switch the history segments.
Yes.
So you would have placed 4th.
Yes.
So how did you feel to represent Tobago in this capacity?
Well, I really first want to thank the Tobago Drama Guild. They would have approached me and asked me to be, well, first chosen me and then approached me to ask me to be their delegate in the Lion Ring competition. And without that approach, I would not have been in the competition. So I thank the Tobago Drama Guild, Miss Cheryl and Tabiti, sir, right? And although I placed 4th, I felt proud because I know that Tobago was proud of me and that I did my best. And that at the end of the day, that is what I want to do. Of course, you know, everybody may want to win, but in the event that you don't win, what is your response to that, right? And my response was, I did my best and Tobago is proud, which is what I wanted to do in the first place.
Wow.
Make Tobago proud, make myself proud, make my group proud.
And we thank you, Rochelle, for representing us with your all. We are indeed proud. Such a graceful and humble young lady. So for anybody wanting to get into performing arts, anybody want to expound on their talents, what would be the advice you would give to them?
You should really pick up something in the arts of in performing arts. There are many different categories or many different niches, if you would like to put it that way. As I say, I dance. There's spoken word. There's theater arts. There's the folk part of it. And in dancing, there are different. It's broken down into smaller categories, right? Even for theater as well. So find your niche and fit into that. It really helps you in terms of developing certain life skills, like punctuality, discipline, you know, working with a large group of people, because once you are in any of those performing arts categories, you have to learn how to work with varying different personalities to yours. So it would really help you, especially if you want to get, if you want to go abroad and spend any time abroad, it would also help you with that because they have a different culture to us. And although persons living here may not know that culture, you may experience a personality here that you would also reach outside. So getting into any field of performing arts would really help you to become a well-rounded person. If you are good at more than one and you can handle it, get into more than one. If you know you have one that you specifically like and that really fits you, you go for that one. But it's definitely a good thing someone should add to their extracurricular activities.
Lovely, lovely, Rochelle. That was really good. So, viewers, you have it. We have our performing arts prodigy, Miss Rochelle Frank. Is there anything else you'd like to tell our viewers as we wrap up?
As we wrap up, I would just like to again formally thank everyone who would have helped me, and I will just call a few names. I would like to thank the Tobago Drama Guild again for giving me the opportunity to represent them. I would like to thank Tobago for trusting me to represent them and representing them well. I would like to thank my boss, the Honorable Mrs. Diana Webster Roy, and my manager, Mr. Kerry Walcott, for awarding me the time to be back and forth, getting ready for the different segments and attending the different events. I would like to thank my designer, Ms. Devines, Ms. Sharon Phillips, who would have helped with the gown, my chaperone, Sophia Cooper, who is probably catching up on rest now, you know. My mommy, Miss Patricia Joseph Frank, my big sister, Ainka Joseph, Tasha Frank, and all my family members who would have supported. I would like to thank the Division of Culture, Mr. Jesse Taylor, Miss Giselle Charles, the administrator, Miss Cheryl, the secretary, everyone who would have helped me as well, lended their support as I was a lone delegate. I would like to thank Kurt Allen, Sheena Nelson, Keishon Julian, Shamika Denoon, Dominic Quinton, Forbes, all my accompaniment crew. The persons down at the Best Village office, Jamila, Miss Lee Singh, Akida, Patrice, all of those persons, Miss Auntie Jackie, who would have trained us, you know, all these people really take a part in terms of me getting where I am today, right? I think that's everybody. I hope I didn't forget anyone. You know how that goes.
A long list, Rochelle.
You know how that goes, yes.
I want to thank you for joining us today. The interview was a really, really great interview. Very eloquent, very graceful. Viewers, just remember to share the live. You know we want the support. So share the live, share the live, share the live.
919 FM and the Tobago Updates presents the Tobago Updates Morning Show live simulcast on the Street 919 FM. Start your day with all the information you want and need with the simulcast of the Tobago Updates Morning Show live Mondays to Fridays from 7 a.m. on the Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
Life, the concert.
Says our destiny.
Friday, 23rd September.
The night before Republic Day. She says our destiny. Forget next to me. At the concert capital, the Queen's Park, Savannah. Settle down on the lady. It has to say you are driving me crazy.
Guinness welcomes Mavado and his full band with rising superstar Ken. Life, the concert. Powered by Guinness and Strictly FX.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Youth Wednesdays on live here in Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates Morning Show. You are viewing us live here in Portmore, Scarborough. This morning we are talking about food, World Food Day in Tobago. And to pioneer this conversation this morning, we have Dr. Paul Crooks, the head veterinarian for the Tobago House of Assembly. Good morning to you, Dr. Crooks.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to be in your presence this morning. Tell us, what is your role in the THA, being a vet and all?
All right, so my name is Paul Crooks. For those who don't know me, I am one of the veterinarians. I'm a veterinary officer.
Okay.
So I play the role of ambulatory work. I go out and I see farm animals and so on. For many of the farmers on the island, I'm reachable by phone so people can get advice and ask whatever they need to ask. I help with inspections at the abattoir, regulatory work, and so on. Those are my roles. But in this setting and for today's discussion, I am the head of the livestock subcommittee for the World Food Day Steering Committee. So what in the past, people here in Tobago would know that we would have done a grand World Food Day exhibition. That exhibition usually occurs around the third week of October. This year, our grand exhibition is the 19th and 20th of October. So we are returning to form after 2 years of COVID and unfortunately the inability to meet and congregate. We are still going to try to be as safe as possible, but you know, we're back. And that's what we want to promote today. And I'm promoting on behalf of the committee. I do want to say before we go any further and talk about any of the events coming up, I want to say that for those who are interested in participating in the livestock competition, and we'll talk more about that, today is the deadline for registration with the livestock subcommittee. You can register by calling or WhatsApping me directly at 383-4451. And if you are interested in having a booth or a place to sell your food or seedlings, whatever it is you're interested in doing at the World Food Day Grand Celebrations in October, please go into the office at Milshirf to register. From 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. You have today and tomorrow is the absolute deadline. For any more information on anything that you need to ask regarding World Food Day, please call 639-4616.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Crooks. I want to ask, we have not had as you would have mentioned, we have not had World Foods Day for 2 years. How has that been like for you guys? And just tell us about how that has been for you guys in terms of.
All right. So it's been a challenge, of course. We did have discussions about how best to feature World Food Day. I mean, this year's theme is Leave No One Behind, and we didn't want to leave anybody behind in the prior years either. But we knew that we could not congregate. So we thought about doing videos and so on. Ultimately, none of those ideas really came to fruition. We did recognize that World Food Day occurred, but there was not any sort of grand collaborative effort or anything like that. No big social media or public push for promotion of World Food Day. This year is the change. We are going to make it back to the way we used to do things. And for 2022, we really want to have experiences. Our secretary has pushed on us that we want people to be able to leave there having done something, not just having seen something. And that really landed with the steering committee. So we're trying our best to do that. So you'll see that as you have in front of you, there is a calendar of events. And we're planning a series of seminars, open days, bigger specialized events like a cocoa experience up at Lure Estate. So the calendar is up on screen now. Excellent.
It's quite extensive, quite a lot of events there.
That's correct.
And that would cover all of the agricultural sectors in the space.
We try to be as inclusive as possible. Of course, food means everybody has this thing in common, regardless of your walk of life, regardless of your industry. And so with our calendar of events, we hope that there's something for everyone.
Right. I have been to about, in my youthful years, very young still, about, let's say, 5 World Food Day events. And to me, it has always been, in my view, it's always been about show. But obviously, there's more to it than just about show. Who has the biggest animal, who has the biggest stock, who has the sweetest ice cream. What is the purpose of World Foods Day?
World Food Day, as I said, is really all-encompassing. We want to encourage farming. We want to encourage agriculture. We want to get young people interested in agriculture. We want to educate the public. We want to let the public know about the activities of the division. We want to allow for networking. We want people from different walks of life to be able to interact. We want to expose young people and farmers to new technology. We want that stakeholders such as banks and technology providers can introduce their products to the farming population. We have universities and so on coming to show their research. We have displays of different types of housing and so on for various types of animals. So the ideas are there that we ultimately want to bring everyone together to network and to get the agriculture product up in Tobago, to get the prestige up there.
And that is exactly where I want to get at, because we want even the youngest child to understand that this is an opportunity for Tobago's agricultural products to make its way on the market and become number one, become the staple. Specifically for livestock though, I note that the administration, as its mandate, wants to focus on small ruminant farming. How is small ruminant farming going to be featured, if at all, in the World Foods Day, and going forward? How will this be a launching pad for others intending to go into that?
All right. So just to talk about the livestock aspect specifically and briefly, we are doing a competition. The idea with that livestock competition, there's a monetary prize, but of course that's not really ultimately the aim. The aim is, and personally I would say there should be no monetary prize, but the aim is that we raise the caliber of breeding animal on the island. So when you look at the best, let's say West African as a breed of sheep, if you look at the best West African, and Mr. Forbes brings the best West African in Tobago based on what we have entered at the site, then Mr. Forbes is going to meet Mr. Joseph and Mr. Frank, and they are going to say, well, that ram there, real nice, I want that with my sheep, I want to breed. That is the idea. We want to increase the quality of the genetic stock, ultimately. So yes, we have the cash prize, but that is one way that we try to promote, and again, that networking is very important.
So it's more like an incentive for increased productivity in the breeding stock.
That's correct.
But just comment quickly, in your experience, what is the current status of livestock on the island? Do you think it's where it ought to be? Do you think there's a lot more work needs to be done, or we're just there, but but almost there?
We're just there. And let me tell you something. The COVID really has caused a sort of decreased production, decreased interest and decreased production. This World Food Day activity, and in particular the World Food Day competition for livestock, has really maintained interest over the years. And so we don't want to lose that interest. In fact, we want it to grow. So the hope is that this year's return to the livestock competition will in fact continue to push that excitement in the farmers to have their animals recognized.
That's great. That's great.
So,
go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say too, we're not just doing that livestock competition and display, we are doing seminars as well. Before the month ends, before the end of September, we have 2 seminars coming up. One is on fish, and that's on September 27th. And then we have, that's a Tuesday. And then we have another seminar on livestock, which I will be hosting on the 29th. Both of those are at Kendall Farm School from 9 to 12. And again, the number is 639-4616 if you want to register.
Right. I guess this is the end, unfortunately, of our interview this morning. But I will leave it to you to just promote and give your parting words before we take or leave.
Thank you very much. Okay, so as of today, it's the deadline for the registration for livestock. So please call me or message me personally at 383-4451. If you want to register to have a booth, tomorrow is the deadline from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock today or tomorrow. You can get down to Milshirv and register your interest in having a booth. Then we have seminars coming up at the end of the month on September 27th and September 29th at Kendall Farm School. Call to register at 639-4616. They will be in person and online from 9 a.m. to 12 a.m.
Right. And just one last question. Would they still be keeping the event at the
Parade grounds?
Parade grounds.
Yes. So on the 19th to 20th, we will be back to promote. Don't worry,
Okay,
you're
alright.
going to
So-
hear all about
my
it.
apologies.
So
My
19th to 20th at Parade grounds. And
Alright.
I just want to say too, in the first week of October, you're looking at the Monday, the Wednesday, the Friday. We have open days at Goldsboro, Kendall, and Hope Farm. Please follow our Facebook page to keep up to date with all of the activities.
All right. Again, guys, I want to thank Dr. Crooks for being here this morning and sharing with us, promoting World Foods Day. Please support. I mean, it has been a really informative and you have a lot to eat, you have a lot to experience, a lot to learn as it pertains to agriculture and food on the island. Guys, this is it. This is the end of our interview this morning, unfortunately. There is your calendar of events. Remember, guys, to share the live. Share the live. Share the live. We'll be right back.
Entertainment. Yes, we're bringing it to you. Tobago Updates. It's all about the new entertainment show. The VIP experience hosted by your boy, Snoopy. Tune in every Wednesday from 8 p.m. and on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. We're bringing to you the best Tobago has to offer. We're showcasing interviews, music, and everything that is fun. So join me on Tobago Updates for the VIP experience. Yeah, man.
Like about to overload. Watch them sexy Tobago woman. Beauty from head to toes in the sun. Skin food don't need no lotion.
People that know going on. Your four young brother, 17th of September, it's all about Dengole in Tobago. Yes, people, Shorty's residence comes alive. Young brother will be performing live and live. All my ladies, make sure and be there because I'm gonna make you feel it.
Dingole with me now. Come away.
Life, the concert.
Says our destiny.
Friday, 23rd September.
The night before Republic Day.
She says our destiny to get next to me.
At the concert capital, the Queen's Park Savannah.
Life, the concert. Bravado and his full band.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, viewers, to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. It's Youth Wednesdays, and we are your hosts, Luke and Dwayne. So, for those of you who have been paying attention to the last few days, a lot of blood was spilled in the political arena. Isn't that right, Dwayne?
A lot of blood indeed. You know, it caught many of us by surprise.
It did.
We wanted to find out what is going on in the political space, especially in the PDP camp. You know, it's quite a debacle
Yes,
to be if want of a better word. But what exactly did happen though?
Well, that is the million-dollar question. That is the million-dollar question. But however, to discuss what we, the viewers and the onlookers, know about, we have a Miss Chanel Felix. She will be speaking about the PDP rift from a youth perspective. So, Miss Felix, good morning, and how are you doing today?
Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing? I'm fine. I'm so happy that you guys would have me this morning. How are you doing, Dwayne?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, and welcome.
Now, Chanel.
Yeah, so
as we are nearing the October Carnival, you know, it's highly anticipated. However, in the last few days, we have observed what seemed to be a sort of internal carnival within the PDP camp. So can you explain to us from a youth perspective what you gathered has been happening?
no, an internal carnival, that's a funny way to look at it. I mean, it is interesting, right? But if I could use one word to explain it, I would say it's honestly atrocious. And it's disappointing as a young person looking on, especially for the young persons who would have voted for the first time. For the young persons who probably stayed away from voting because of the status quo in the political arena or environment in Trinidad. Looking on, it is extremely disappointing, to say the least, right? I can't say that I am disappointed in any one party more than I am the other, because I feel like based on what we have seen in the media, we can see both sides of the spectrum, right? We can see where Mr. Duke would have made several blunders that goes against his own party, and we are here onlookers looking like, I mean, this is a new precedent he's setting. We never seen anything like this before. And then we see our chief secretary coming in hot as well, right? And responding to everything that Mr. Duke had to say. And I cannot help but look at it from the psychological perspective and the emotional perspective, and that impact that it have on myself and other young people, especially young people who want to get into the political arena. It speaks to things like exploitation and all of that. But we will get into that. We'll get into it.
All right, but we want to go into the video that was shared sometime last week by Mr. Duke, the political leader and deputy chief secretary, highlighting issue where a group, I think it was the Roxborough folk performers, traveling to New York and being stranded, no food, etc. You know, he highlighted some of the issues and called on the THA via video to deal with this matter. He even went as far as to call on them as hot shots to fix the issue. Given coming from the PDP's campaign, let me fix this. Do you see any merit in the video, and more so, do you see anything you know, atrocious, if want of a better word, coming from did he do anything wrong?
Plain and simply put, Dwayne, who does that? That's my response. Who really does something like that, right? Only Mr. Duke, right? I can't see how he would have thought that that would have had a better impact than direct communication with his colleagues. I can't see any way how that could have made sense to him. Like, make it make sense.
And Chanel, I like how you touched on communication, because the biggest issue that people will have in is, of all the ways you can communicate the issue, of all the ways you could have brought across that topic, why is it that we just wake up, boom, to this video shared all over? Why is it that Mr. Duke did not communicate, you know, privately? He could have reached out to them. Why is it that we have to wake up to video after video and attack after attack? So the million-dollar question is there an underlying issue that we, the public, are not aware of that would have led to this video? And probably the video is just him lashing out.
I mean, I feel like you have hit the nail on the head there. I cannot say that I am surprised with the outburst of Mr. Duke, honestly. You know, based on his track record, you know, we have oftentimes known him to be a quite volatile character, and we cannot deny that. But it only really truly speaks to something that clearly was beneath the surface that came up using this particular event. It could never have just been that, right? It's extremely unfortunate. That's all that I could say. But guys, if we have to be real, let's be real. As young people in this space, we are looking on, right? We're looking at that dynamic, and we know to ourselves that a lot of us, we were pulled in because of the character of Farley, Chavez, Augustine. He had that vision, that innovation, you know, that appeal to young people for what a transformed Tobago could be. And we could see a lot of the characteristics within our chief secretary, within a lot of young people today. And to me, it speaks to, okay, when we as young people are given the opportunity to step forward and be who it is that we can be, is it that we are given this opportunity with an underlying motive from the people who oftentimes present the type of opportunities for us to stand in the forefront? Or is it genuinely our talent and ability and skill and vision, being honed in to really transform the island of Tobago? And that's why I said earlier, it speaks to some level of youth exploitation, but we didn't really have any evidence of that. So allegedly, but I am extremely disappointed in how this is playing out, and I think that it has a really negative impact on young people, especially in the political space, right? Whereas we talk about confidence in leadership, we talk about, is the opportunities genuine, or is it just to allow somebody else to get ahead with their own underlying motives? Guys, we can look at it from many different perspectives, but what do you think particularly, affects young people when they look at this whole situation play out?
Right. You had touched on some important points. You said that given the character of the chief secretary, on the campaign trail specifically, the youth or the wider island would have bought into the dream in terms of supporting PDP. What pre-tail then could be the underlying issue, if we can think of any at all, why Mr. Duke might wage such an attack or come out, just highlighting all of the issues that seemingly might be geared towards the chief secretary. Is he perchance highlighting that that the chief secretary is a fraud? Is there any merit in anything that he would have alleged against the honorable?
Personally, Dwayne, I honestly cannot say, right? But we have to also give some credit to Mr. Duke as well, right? Even though I am personally not in agreement with the approach that he used. And come on, we can't deny that he has a history of, being a volatile character. You understand? But the truth of the matter is, to create something and not be able to feel the benefit or, of that thing, I feel like it takes a lot out of anybody to birth the PDP and feel like the PDP was used as a vehicle, and when persons got to their destination, they jumped off and forgot the vehicle that they got to the destination on. So we have to be very balanced in how we look at this, right? However, utilizing this Roxborough group to air your grievances about how members are operating within the party is completely and totally inappropriate. That is totally inappropriate, but I can see where there can be some credence to some of the, things that Mr. Duke is claiming, whereby, the membership of the PDP executive, right, is not being taken seriously by members of the THA. We have to be honest. And
so you're saying that based on some of the utterances that there is some merit to what Mr. Duke is claiming.
No, not where he is claiming that the chief is a liar and that he's none of that. I'm not supporting any of that. I totally detest it, right? But what I'm saying is his outburst, his anger, his frustration, speculatorily, I'm speculating, right? That it could come from the fact that he feels like where the key decisions are being made. Now, we know how the THA operates, so we know that the decisions are made through the executive council, right? And no decisions are taken by any one individual, right? But I feel as though it is possible that Mr. Duke feels like he himself doesn't have much of a say in the core direction, probably, allegedly, assumingly, in where the current administration is going, and that could have caused an issue.
But quickly, just one follow-up question. But based on what you're saying, what gives you that impression that he might not, be a part of the decision making, or being deprived of certain opportunities to make decisions?
Well, I mean, based on the videos, based on he called them the hot shots. He said they are the decision makers of the THA Adwin. That's what he said. So based on his claims and his allegations, right, he made it seem to the public, right, in his videos that he pulled himself away from the responsibility of what he sees not happening or happening at the point in time. He even went on to make posts claiming that where unemployment is concerned in Tobago, the current administration within 9 months is responsible for that. And that in itself just tells me that Mr. Duke himself is willing to single-handedly annihilate his entire party just because he feels like, you know, he hadn't gotten his way. You know, but this is my personal opinion, I must say.
Chanel.
Right?
So,
Personal Chanel Felix opinion, right?
so yesterday, Chanel, Tobago was on a halt as Farley went on to the radio station I-95.5 and everybody was tuned in because like you said, we have no evidence. We don't know what's going on behind us. All we have is videos and now the interview that Mr. Augustine did yesterday. And yesterday, what I admire with the Chief Secretary is how he tried to answer the $1 million question. He used the dog whistle politics method to, by saying things as Watson's behavior was a ruse. He said that he doesn't have a problem with Mr. Duke, but there seems to be an underlying issue, all to allude to the hypothesis that maybe, just maybe, Watson Duke is not pleased with the leadership and he himself wants to be Chief Secretary. And as young people, we are getting that impression. So, as a young person, did you get that impression from everything that has happened?
I think, I spoke to it earlier, and there have been speculations around the campaign trail during the election time that the reason why Mr. Duke would have placed the Chief Secretary at the forefront because he had a greater appeal among Tobagonians, among the non-voters, among PNM supporters, as opposed to Mr. Duke, right? He was a little bit more palatable for the people. So we could definitely say, you know, in our little analysis, in our little allegation, that it may have been that it sounded as a good idea before to put him in the front to gain the support. But when it comes to actually being the hand, the puppet master, that maybe was expected of putting a young person as the face, right? Maybe there was an expectation that, you know, it would have just been somewhat of a, you know, that the current Chief Secretary would have just been like the face, but Mr. Duke possibly, we don't know, right? Thought that he would have been able to kind of tell the chief what to do or what directions he wanted the party to go in or the THA to go in. And to his surprise, because we have a Farley Chavez Augustine who told us years ago that one day he's going to be the Chief Secretary, he stepped into the role knowing what that required of him. And regardless of the association, politically, he is determined that if I have campaigned and said that I'm putting Tobago people first and I'm going to do X, Y, or Z, this is what I am doing regardless of political affiliation. And that is something I believe should be applauded in the Chief Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chanel. So our last question would be, is it that Watson was of the belief that if Farley was voted into office and became the Chief Secretary, he would have had a hand to play to control Mr. Augustine, but seeing that he didn't have that upper hand, this might be the reason why we are seeing what we are seeing in the media today.
Guys, let me just put it straight. I have had this conversation with my friends, and I said to them, as this thing rolls out, right, the character of Mr. Duke is one of someone who, you know, when you're playing games with your friends, we're playing games,
yes,
and somebody is losing. And when that person's realize that they're losing, before they get to the point where it is declared that they are the loser, they will just scrap the whole game and throw all the pieces of the puzzle on the ground. And, you know, that's the kind of energy we get from Mr. Duke right now. And it's unfortunate. As I say, I can only speak from what it looks like, right? I cannot say this for sure is what it is. Mr. Duke wanted to puppeteer the chief and he wasn't able to do it. This is just what we, the youth, the public, you know, looking on, this is what it looks like. And I'm being frank in saying this is what it looks like.
Right, Chanel.
I mean, I'm guessing this is the reason why you all brought me on, because you all knew that I would have been very
Right. Our producers is giving us the wrap up. I just want you to tell us in very short notice, what do you make of him removing the deputy political leaders of the party? Do you think it was a spite move, or was it done with much strategy or deliberation? Or what does that look like for you? Just shortly.
To be very honest with you, Dwayne, it doesn't seem like much of what the political leader of the PDP is doing at this moment has any strategy attached to it. It seems very Vike, right? However, it does play into some level of spitefulness, but it also indicates to us where he might be heading, where he might be looking to go with his party. Right? Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and thank you so much for having me.
It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure, Chanel. I wish we had more time.
Of course, I wish. Hint, producers. But we want to thank you guys for viewing us this morning. Yes. Thank you for Mr. Felix for being here, and thank you for sharing this interview. With us. Quite a lot happened this morning. It was a eventful morning. Don't go anywhere just yet. After the break, we have Good Morning Tobago with Candice and the chairman of the PDP, the Progressive Democratic Patriots, to continue the conversation on what has spurred into the public space politically between the deputy political leader, the Deputy Chief and the Chief Secretary.
And Dwayne, before we go, we have one last birthday today, and that goes out to Miss Camilla McPhee. Happy birthday, Miss McPhee. I hope you enjoyed today. And Dwayne, today was a really interesting day. Yes. It was really, really good.
Yes. I know I will be looking out to hear what the chairman has to say. But guys, all right, this unfortunately brings us to the end of the Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We want to thank you for being here. Thank you, Mr. Trim, again. And remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Never tag along, they never look back, chick. Trendy, a little crazy, intelligently, singing rock back, chick. No sticks, no stones, or any kind of weapon don't belong here. I don't wanna break no bones.
You're moving your ways.
Entertainment. Yes, we're bringing it to you. Tobago Updates. It's all about the new entertainment show. The VIP experience hosted by your boy, Snoopy. Tune in every Wednesday from 8 p.m. and on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. We're bringing to you the best Tobago has to offer. We're showcasing interviews, music, and everything that is fun. So join me on Tobago Updates for the VIP experience. Yeah, man.
Like about to overload. Watch them sexy Tobago woman. Beauty from head to toes in the sun. You don't need no lotion.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Live, the concert.
Says our destiny.
Friday, 23rd September.
The night before Republic Day.
She says our destiny, she get next to me.
At the concert capital, the Queen's Park, Savannah.
Live, the concert. Tobago and his full band.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susolines, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Exhale Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Let's go, guys.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candice Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine challenged Deputy Chief Secretary Watson Duke to bring a motion of no confidence against him when the Assembly Legislature reconvenes later this month. Augustine was speaking during an interview on the I-95.5 FM morning show yesterday, where he said if Duke brings a no-confidence motion against him and fails, then Duke must resign. These comments were made following an ongoing public dispute between Augustine and Duke. The Chief Secretary said attempts are being made to meet with Duke to resolve the situation, but to no avail. However, Duke was invited to today's Executive Council meeting, where further attempts will be made to address the problem. On to some other news, 1 month after being promoted to the rank of sergeant, a celebrated police officer is dead. According to a statement from the TTPS, Tobago-born officer Dion Garfield Mapp died on Monday, 5th September 2022. Sergeant Mapp was described as an officer who was responsible for one of the highest crime detection rates on the island for the past 5 years, and whose commitment to duty was unmatched. Sergeant Mapp was attached to the K9 Operational Tobago Branch Unit. He was 44 years old when he passed away. And nationally, the Ministry of Education issued a statement indicating that there are to be no changes to the list of textbooks used in schools for the 2022-2023 school year. This is following a memorandum issued to principals on Monday. The ministry said it also means that no new textbook editions ought to be required. Meanwhile, the ministry announced a review is on the way for textbooks and online resources to inform a policy on the formulation of book lists for all schools. Additionally, an e-book platform is being explored. And that was the news in 90 seconds. And of course, coming off the youth show this morning, now we had a quite of a spicy interview with one of our young and budding political interests, and in the form of Ms. Chanel Felix, who had a lot to say about what's happening with the situation with Mr. Watson Duke and Mr. Fali Augustine. You know, it's a very unfortunate situation. And of course, you know, we at Tobago Updates, we've been trying to get more closer to the heart of the matter and bring more of those details out to you. So on set with me this morning, it's my pleasure to introduce you to none other than, of course, the chairman of the PDP, to issue a statement, of course, exclusively on Tobago Updates as to what's been happening. So, I mean, we know that over the past few days, there's been a lot of meetings taking place. We haven't been able to get, this is the first time we've been able to get somebody from the executive of the PDP to sort of come out and address the situation from a party standpoint as to what's happening. So, a special good morning to you, Mr. Dr. Ned. How are you doing?
Doing well this morning. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, and I know, first of all, you want to start off by reading a statement to our viewers in regards to the situation. So, I'll give you the floor.
All right, so much thanks. I'd like to thank the platform of Tobago Updates, and of course, I remain ready to speak to other media outlets. I have a short statement to make on this matter. So first, welcome again. Welcome to Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to the media involved. I am Dr. Shornet, chairman of the Progressive Democratic Patriots. I am here with the support of the PDP executive, the National Executive Council, in defense of the stability of the PDP. We have strongly noted several recent actions of the former deputy political leader, Mr. Fali Chavez Augustine, and the political leader, Mr. Watson Duke. To start, I will make 3 clear points, takeaways on this matter. 1, the National Executive Council is greatly disappointed by and rejects attacks on the political leader and founder of the PDP. It must be the norm that in spite of disagreements with the political leader, the role and function of the political leader must be respected as the individual with the burden of setting the strategic direction of the party, and by all accounts, the political leader has been successfully accomplishing this end, and that includes succeeding the chief secretary role. The aims of the party are bigger than the THA. However, the aims secure Tobago and also include securing its interests within Trinidad with Trinidadians. Number 2, the role and function of the National Executive Council must be respected. The NEC, for short, has a key role to make sure that any entity operating under the banner of PDP conforms to ideals and mandate of the party, and that includes the THA. We simply remind that all dignitaries within the THA signed on with the blessing of the NEC and the mandate of the party and the people. Number 3, the PDP and its executive must maintain order in its ranks like any other party and will consider disciplinary action on the former deputy political leader if needed. However, the party will continue to encourage discussion and compromise, as this has always been the sensible route to dealing with any of our issues internally. Again, first point, there must be respect for the political leader of the PDP. 2, the party leadership via its executive must be respected and promoted. 3, the order, stability, and integrity of the PDP must continue to be maintained. So as we move forward in any young political party, we must expect teething issues. The PDP is no different. This PDP has adopted ideals that many people have found favor with and wish to be associated with. The party has grown quickly, and there will be changes and disagreements, as is the nature of different people and personalities. What must remain consistent are the ideals of this party. It is through this frame that all our members interact. All parties, young and old, experience such issues. However, the PDP will never be a one-and-done group. Its leadership recognizes the importance of organization, respectful leadership, communication with the people, and most importantly, accounting for the needs of the people who voted and did not vote for us. In all that is going on, we in leadership roles must remember the people who put their trust in us, and we must take care of people who voted for the first time, the non-voters, and the people that see us as being the better alternative. We in the NEC wish to assure all people that your choice was the correct one and still is. Of course, the PDP has work to do. We battle an administrative system that sabotages us, along with a list of bad and absent policies left in the wake of the former party in power. Still, we commit to you that, as always, the PDP will continue to persevere in all our efforts, including the pursuit of governance in Trinidad. This party has always maintained a dignified approach to handling all of our issues. Many people have said that you don't hear anything serious coming out of this party in terms of hearing from the executive. This is because the National Executive Council does not tolerate bacchanal and the festering of an issue. The NEC fixes it, and we move forward. Our main duty is the administration of this party, while the political discourse is handled through our system of political leaders led by the political leader. Our system and constitution is not perfect, but I can assure you that as the developer of that constitution, it is quite solid and will stand up to strong review. The Progressive Democratic Patriots, the PDP, is a stable party with integrity and a strong group of professionals and experts that surround the political leader to guide the direction of the party on behalf of the people. We will continue to fix our issues internally. In so doing, many improvements and updates are in the pipeline. This information will soon be shared with the party but at a party meeting for only members of the party in good standing. So I want to say thank you all for your attention and stay tuned. The best is yet to come.
Okay, so that was a very comprehensive statement. And I would just like to unpack some of the things that were mentioned in that. Now, you spoke a lot about, first of all, respecting the leadership of the party, the political leader of the party. In light of this situation that happened where Mr. Duke came out and sort of issued statements and issued challenges and openly criticized the chief secretary, what is the party's view on that?
So what I would say is that some of that issue is obviously most of that issue is mainly dealing with the THA, right? And that is under the purview of the chief secretary, right? Now, in viewing that incident, right, one thing I would say is we should try our best to deal with issues in as a contained a way as possible. However, the political leader does not only have the hat of the deputy chief sec. He is also the political leader of the party. He is also seen as someone who needs to represent the people in their time of need. So in some ways, he has a humanitarian aspect to his role. And in so doing, the political leader has to respond, especially when confronted with these things, because it's the people that are affected. Now, he may or may not have approached the thing in a perfect way, but the response to the matter should not be a slapping down of the political leader publicly. You can say, and the political leader has said, he doesn't mind being, disciplined. He said that on the platform. However, you should do this in the back rooms. Have a discussion, resolve the issue, move forward, right? That is an approach you can take, right? I would say we are all growing in this. This may not be a perfect response. The way in which this has gone has not been perfect, right? But this is something that we can get past, right? As long as we stick to the core ideals of the party and we remember that we're all doing this in order to take care of the needs of the people. Remember that this is all about making sure that our own Tobagonians don't become hungry and starved and left on the streets in a foreign country. That is the background of all of this. The way in which it was dealt could be left out there. But at the end, the chief secretary did act, our political leader did act, and we did solve the problem, right? The issues are wrong that can be discussed.
Have you guys met with Mr. Duke as yet? Because from what Mr. Augustine said yesterday, that he and Mr. Duke have been unable to sit together in a meeting, or at least up until yesterday morning. I've no idea. I don't know if there was a meeting or there was any attempts for a conversation between then and now. But up until yesterday, he hasn't been unable to meet with Mr. Duke. Has the executive itself been able to meet with Mr. Duke to sort of come to the bottom of the situation?
So, as I said, the matter is an internal matter, so I don't want to get into too much details. We are in the midst of figuring out conciliation meetings between both parties, right? Okay. We wish to get this handled, fixed, and move on, right? In our minds, it's not as important as other issues going on. And I may want to segue a little bit into some of the other things going on. Right?
But before you go there, because I mean, yes, we do acknowledge, and I think that's what the issue right now within the space. There are major issues that need to be dealt with within the THA itself, within the governance structure of the island itself. However, we are being distracted by the situation, and the situation sort of threatens and undermines the work that needs to be done. Now, I want to also ask you, in terms of Mr. Augustine as the deputy lead political leader, as well as Dr. Faith B. Israel and Alicia Patterson Roberts. Now, we saw that the political leader sort of, removed them from those posts. So, does the constitution of the PDP just allows the political leader to make such a decision?
All right, so the constitution of the PDP has been public for a while. All right, there's a clear section that's, and in fact, when we had our first summit, right, which would have been the first point where we were all elected, right, all three were appointed. They're all appointed in the first instance at the pleasure of the political leader. And it's always been the case that the political leader can remove his deputy political leaders. This has always been a possibility. All right?
So at this point in time, those three are former deputy political leaders.
Yes, they're currently that. Again, the matter will continue internally. The political leader has his choice of deputy political leaders who are supposed to work under him at his pleasure for whatever he needs to be done. Right? That is how things are set up, and those persons are supposed to be able to counsel, work with the political leaders. So it's the political leader's decision whether or not he wishes to change the persons or keep the persons.
Now, people are also saying that this whole situation, it's not necessarily about what happened in New York, but there seems to be some underlying issues and some underlying power struggles. Is this true? Are there underlying power struggles within the leadership of the PDP that would result in the political leader making such statements and then subsequently making the decisions he made?
Well, as I said, if needed, we will go through some sort of disciplinary action. I am not aware of any exact evidence of such. As far as I am concerned, the political leader is still the leader of continues to do so. Right? We have a very clear system in the party, and we are operating as such.
When was the last time you guys have been able to meet together as a full executive, all parties involved?
That would have been last week, right?
Before this incident or after?
So we understand. I don't want to get too much into that, right?
Okay.
We are in the process, right? That's what I would say.
Okay. And then in regards to the membership of the party, how is the membership of the party reacting to this situation?
Well, naturally, the membership would be a bit confused and concerned, right? People have staked their lives in a way. And I know people who would be in tears because they are very concerned as to the status of things, right? Because we have persons who are very strongly linked to the names, right? The former deputy political leader, now chief sec, as well as the political leader. But I will just remind everyone that the base of the party has never changed. The ideals of the party has never changed. The list of persons who are leadership in this party has always maintained a strong understanding of the base of this party and continue to do so. And we are moving forward, right? We will get through whatever problems come our way, like any party, right? I'm sure the part of that concern is because there is a history of anti-PNM parties. And part of that history is what I was speaking to, which is the need for full organization, the need for being financially solvent, the need to communicate with the population and with its membership. And we are constantly developing and doing these things in order to bring ourselves into the framework of being a solid party. And that is that's the direction we wish to focus on. And that is the position that we want our membership to understand as we move forward.
Did you get any impression at all from this whole situation, and even perhaps other situations before that we may not have known about, and which should have, of course, been kept behind closed doors? But did you ever get any idea that perhaps Mr. Duke is not quite satisfied with being in sort of the background of the THE. Because, I mean, we know Mr. Duke is someone who loves to be at the forefront of any sort of movement. And we've seen a situation where, you know, he had to choose Mr. Augustine to lead because, of course, that was the people's choice on the ground. You know, there's that sentiment that, you know, putting Mr. Augustine in the Chief Secretary's chair was part of the formula that won the elections, because Mr. Duke did not have that support for that position within the THE. So did you ever get, over the past 9 months, get that idea that Mr. Duke was sort of unsatisfied with that whole situation?
So what I would say is that, first, the political leader has always been the strategist for the party. All right, that's always been the case. And the choice for having the chief secretary in that role has always been with the political leader. And he understands the larger picture, right? That has always been the case. And that is a burden. That's why I describe it as that of the political leader. If he thinks that something may go in a better direction, he does it. What we need to understand is that for all of us, we remember that this is a lessening of the impact, the capital of the political leader by doing certain actions. All right? We as a people called for certain things. The political leader responded. In this moment, he should not be chastised for that choice. Right? In a way, this is why we're calling for reminding people that we have to respect the political leader, because he doesn't only have to consider these in-between choices, such as what's going in the THA. He must put it in perspective of the broader Tobago, the people of Tobago, and then our future goals, which would be in Trinidad, and to develop the party in a larger sense. And that is where the political leader is in all of this, right? So that's where I'll stay with it.
We also had a statement from the deputy political leader for the Trinidad PDP, Ms. Kizel Jackson, who had some comments to say, comments about the Chief Secretary. In essence, she disagreed with the Chief Secretary's stance and the Chief Secretary's decision on that whole situation in New York, and she stood behind the political leader. What are the parties, what are you guys' views on that statement that was issued by Ms. Jackson?
All right, so Ms. Jackson's position, she is interim deputy political leader, and we are handling that sort of setup, that other concern constitutionally. But her voice is very important because we are operating with her as within the leadership there. All right, this sentiment is in its simplest form the same, which is to respect the political leader. The other details surrounding that can be up in the air until we have any evidence, because we must be fair to any member in the party. We must be fair to the former deputy political leader. We cannot levy charges without any due course, right? So going forward, everyone has their say, and we move forward accordingly. So that's why I'm saying the matter will be handled internally, right? But before, because I think we are staying ahead and down, I wanted to just make the point. This is a distraction, right? There are other more important things going on. We have the budget that's about to come out, so we now know the actual amounts. We have the results of the audit that's supposed to come out as well, right? We have several different things in the sphere. We also have the autonomy bill that somehow rears its head in this moment when our party is being affected. That seems strange to us as a party, right?
But there's also the claims, I mean, as you're bringing up all those other things that are sort of, you know, being covered, I guess, being hidden with this whole situation. Now we have a situation where Mr. Duke says that the current administration, the PDP-led administration, is not following through on campaign promises. And when the political leader makes a statement like that, how does the executive of the party now react to that or feel about those statements that, you know, promises of employment, promises of furthering the autonomy, trust, all those things are not being kept?
So in again, a more general sense, this is why I made the point that the THA and its dignitaries, right, are still under the party. They obtained all their positions with the blessing of the party, and they are, and I gave this analogy to the chief sec, right? You can think of us as on one train track initially. You got into office and there's two train tracks, but they are connected, right? You cannot distance yourself from the party and its mandate and its direction, because your track was dependent upon that stuff,
Is the chief secretary distancing himself from the mandate of the party?
I don't believe that the chief secretary is distancing. In a core way, it's still being followed. But what I am just pointing out is that we need to see more of a monitoring of what's going on, and we have to, as a party, account back to the people. If we can't do that, then we don't know what's really happening inside of the THA. Right? There needs to be work in that way, and we are in discussions to resolve these things. Right?
And then if I understand, because I mean, I'm not sure if I'm interpreting this correctly, and if I'm not, then you could correct me. Is the party unsatisfied with the leadership of Mr. Augustine in the THA?
We're not going to say unsatisfied. Well, there's a lot of work has been done very well by the deputy political or former deputy political leader and chief secretary. However, there's always room for improvement. It's as simple as that. We have to do certain things as a party. As I mentioned, there's a huge policy divide because of what has occurred with us, where the political leader is not the chief sec. The power dynamic is very awkward. It's very awkward. There's a lot of crossing. And the THA has never figured out a policy between the operations of the THA and the party in power. It's usually understood that you have the same leadership in the larger roles. But when you don't have that case, what do? There's no policy in place. So then what you can do is claim on the THA Act that X and X is supposed to happen under the leadership. But then where does that leave, for example, the political leader who is not in the top position? So then you have a clashing of ideas and concerns that are raised.
But I mean, we expect there to be clashing. I mean, that's sort of normal in any situation. And but what the public had hoped is that whatever disagreements could be handled behind closed doors, because we don't expect everything to be perfect. But we have a situation that Mr. Duke keeps coming out and issuing statements publicly. How is the party going to rein in those things? To sort of, save face and to, make sure that the public can retain confidence in the party as well as the leadership of the THA.
So that's one of the reasons I'm here, right? To give a clear statement on where the party and its executive falls on the matter, right? We are just calling for a prudent approach going forward to have discussion, right? And we are pursuing that, right? And the matter will be resolved.
Are you worried that this situation is sort of sabotaging or undermining the party's influence within the space?
No, this is just a teasing process, and we have to just figure out ways of solving these issues. This is not the first time that we've been handling problems in the party. It's as we have reasonable people involved, our membership is reasonable, and we will make decisions so that at the end we can remember our larger goals going forward.
Now, you also mentioned that you guys are exploring whether or not there should be discipline, especially on the part of Mr. Duke, for the actions that he takes. What form of discipline, what form that would take?
Right, well, I didn't mention for the political leader. I was mentioning in terms of the deputy political leader.
So there would be, if I understand correctly, that you guys are not considering disciplinary actions against Mr. Duke.
The levy of that we are looking at is the respect of the political leader, and it's on that basis we are initiating anything. All right, any other discussion can be brought up, but that's going to be done internally.
Okay, so if I understand you again, if I understand you clearly, now there seems to be more of a disagreement with the way in which Mr. Augustine acted as opposed to the way Mr. Duke acted.
Right, so again, in this initial moment, I gave a list of concerns. The issue of respect for the leader and the issue of the second one, which is respect for the NEC itself, that's a concern, that's a major concern. And so it is in that framework I'm saying what I'm saying. If there are other concerns on the political leader, that will come from the former deputy political leader accordingly. All right, and we would then have any further discussions. But as I'm standing here right now, this is a developing issue. We are not in a final stage of anything. We will figure out what's going on and we will handle the problem and move forward in the best way possible.
All right, well, Dr. Ned, I just want to thank you so much for being here. And unfortunately, we'll have to leave the conversation right there. And we hope that you continue to come back and, you know, give us all that updates. I know you guys have some meetings planned and some more decisions to make where this whole situation is concerned. So we're looking forward to what those decisions are and what is to come.
Okay, thank you.
All right, viewers, well, there you have it. Just a little bit of an insight as to what has been happening at the executive level of the PDP. Of course, that is really important right now within the situation. And, you know, it's very interesting. And if you missed it, don't worry. As soon as the show is over, you can always go back and have a look at it. And you can see for yourself, you can hear from the chairman himself that statement that he issued at the beginning of the interview. And you know, you can form your own opinions and react to it however you choose to after that. But we have to go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to get into some lighter, more positive conversations. So, all right, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this break.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Okay, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. Yes, it was a spicy morning. And like I said, if you are interested in what Dr. Ned said about the executive or the decisions that the executive of the PDP is taking at this point in time, just go back afterwards and re-listen to that interview and see for yourself. Now, joining me on set, and like I said, we're getting into some more positive things and just lightening up the mood a little bit on the show this morning. Now, we are going to be talking with Mr. Darwin Khalid Westfield. Yes. Did I get that right?
That's correct.
Okay, and then he is the Managing Director of North Star Projects Limited. And we are going to be talking about a new thing being introduced into our space called WeTix, right? And this is about an online ticketing platform just for Tobago. Because guess what? We have a lot of events coming up this carnival. There's so much happening. And we might not know where to go to get all the tickets. I mean, there's big artists dropping, it seems as though it's every day. You know, every day you're seeing new billboards, new ads going up for events. and you're not too sure what is where, but now we have a solution to that. So a special good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Westfield. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. I'm fine, thank you, and good morning to your viewers.
Great. So first of all, tell me, what is WeTix?
Okay, so WeTix is a secure online event ticketing platform whereby we provide tickets for various events. So we work with promoters as well as we provide that sort of secure accessibility for persons who are interested in events.
So it's essentially like a Ticketmaster situation that we have here in Tobago.
Yes, correct. However, our motto is live, fed, play. So whereby we don't just cater just for events or fetes. Or you can from events, sports, and even barbecues. If you want to have a backyard barbecue and you want to sell your tickets online, we cater for that as well.
So tell me a little bit about how does it work?
Okay, so basically you go on the website, wetix.events, right? So it's not .com, but it's .events, right? You view the various events that are upcoming, or you do a search based on various categories. So for example, let's say for the event space, we have boat rides, we have all-inclusive fetes, paint fetes, and you select the category that you like. Once you select it, you then read the description, see what you're interested in, and purchase your ticket. Now, as I said, it's a secure platform whereby you can use your local Visa debit card or even your credit card to purchase your ticket. Once you purchase your ticket, you get a copy. That's sent to your email as well as on your mobile phone. So you don't have to you no longer have to go purchase a physical ticket or so on. You have it on your mobile phone and you go to the event and you scan at the event it's scanned.
With the QR code?
With the QR code, yes.
Okay. So now for how many events do you have on board with this situation so far with the WeTix website so far for the carnival?
Currently, we have over 10 events that still promoters are still coming on board.
And of course, this is what we're seeing right now on the screen.
Yes, this is what we're seeing right now. So we have persons that are still coming on board. Persons daily events are being released. So we are working things out with various promoters. To utilize the platform. As you know, it's something that is new, new in the Tobago space, and we want promoters to be on board. This is the best choice. It's made for Tobago, by Tobago, so this is what we need. This is what Tobago promoters, this is what you all need to be part of, and in terms of the public buying tickets, this is what we need to do and to support.
Now, I want the directors to just bring up the screen just a bit. I don't know, I kind of setting them up here. We didn't quite discuss this, but I don't know if you can walk us through, just so the viewers could see, how easy it is to choose an event. So, say,
okay.
Scroll.
So let's say, can you scroll down, please, to let's say Dream. All right, you select buy ticket.
You see the buy ticket button there.
Right. Now you have the information pertaining to Dream. On the right-hand side, you would see the cost of the ticket and the quantities. Certain events are limited to just one person being able to buy 5 tickets, right? Or some may be unlimited. Then you select buy. Once you select buy, it then sends you to fill out your personal information. So you personalize your ticket. So that way, it prevents any sort of duplication or unauthorized sale. So at the event, you can't have 2 persons with Candice Jackson because there's only one, so we can verify with your ID. So all that way is how it's secured. So your name, your email address, and your phone number will be added to the platform, to your tickets, and within your QR code on the platform.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about just the conceptualization of this. What led you to being able to to produce such a platform for our events and promotions?
Okay, well, North Star Projections Limited have been in the event space for over 8 years, where we've been inventing various capacities, from marketing to LED screens to partnering with various other companies. And being in that space, we realized that what Tobagonians normally have to do, you have to be shopping around for tickets for events. You know, you have to go by this bar, go by a restaurant, and so on. And we decided that, you know what, we need a centralized space where persons can buy tickets for not just events, but, you know, activities. Let's say later on, Nylon Pool, you want to go to Nylon Pool, you know, you could easily book through WeSpace. And there are other things that we're trying to bring on board, probably with regards to transportation. I'm not going to say anything more on that until that's finalized. But yes, there are other things that we're trying to bring on board. So whereby we have a centralized location that persons can purchase their tickets.
Okay, and then when it comes to, you know, just working with other event promoters and so on, like presenting that idea to them, what's the reaction been like?
No, well, some of them, you know, they love the idea. You know, they're like, hey, let's jump on board quickly. You know, how soon can I have this done? How soon can I be a part of it? So they're really excited about it. That the fact that we have a local instance, you know, not one that, well, we're all accustomed to some of the big names and so on, but having a local instance, you know, they have that sort of pride that, you know, that, hey, a Tobagonian was able to do this, and let's support the Tobago, let's support our team, our people. So it's been positive.
And another feature of the WeTix site is that it also provides up-to-date news and just bulletins as to what's happening with events. So I just want you to elaborate a little bit more on that.
Right. So one to extend that, let's say when someone purchases a ticket, we have your contact information. We can give you updates based on that event, you know. So let's say, God forbid, if the event is postponed or there are any other changes, or, you know, promoters want to add a little spice, say, you know, you could buy a package and so on. You have that function. But yes, other than that, all events, you know, we are updating daily, because from what I get out there are almost over 50 events that are happening within the Tobago space. So we are reaching out to the promoters, you know, promoters are reaching out to us. Recently, we were at the Tobago Carnival launch among the bands and so on. And we had persons come in showing interest. Yes, you know, I'm having an event, I need to be part of that platform. How do we do this? And so on. So it's been very, very positive.
And of course, this is going to go beyond Carnival.
And it's going to go beyond Carnival. It's not just a Carnival event. This WeTix is here to stay. It's part of North Star product of North Star Projections, and we are going to go beyond. So that's the plan.
And as we're getting ready to wrap up the conversation, could you just, you know, share that information again with the viewers as to how to get connected with you guys and to get on board and to start, you know, buying all the tickets for Carnival before they get all sold out.
So to access WeTix, it's WeTix, WITIXS.events, EVENTS, right? You can access the platform there. There's a contact me form where you can send your information. You can contact us at 468-7192. That's 468-7192, where you can find more information, and we can send you a detailed package information as to how you can be a part of this platform.
Okay, great. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Westby, for being on with us and sharing with us a great new idea and innovation within our space here in Tobago.
Yes,
and of course, coinciding with Carnival.
Yes,
Couldn't ask for anything better.
Yes, thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Thank you. Viewers, now don't go anywhere, because we have a bit more coming up for you right after the break.
Everybody only worrying, worrying. Never ever worry, don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry, if your life can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry, don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry, if your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry, if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry, if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denasia.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. And of course, well, you know, it's nice to lighten up the mood a little bit after all the craziness that's happening within our space. And I have a little special product in my hand. I'm just going to show you today. I'm not too sure if the cameras can get it. But yeah, there it is. If you don't know, this is a soap. And it has our logo on it. Isn't that awesome? And you know, the woman behind this awesome creation that I'm just so happy and excited about is Miss Ostra Trotman from Mercer's Body Delectables.
That's right.
Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, Candice, and good morning, Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago, and all your viewers.
Okay, so first of all, tell me about this soap.
I know you would have chose that soap to be the very first.
Of course.
This is one of my products. It's nothing new. It's it's known internationally to have a picture soap, but I think at the moment I'm the first in the space to have these soaps on the market. I try to customize soaps to suit the customer's needs, and of late I would have made these soaps a bit more Tobago-centric, yes, where you would have on the table on display, you would see some of the soaps. You have Fort King George, you have the I Love Tobago sign, you have the I Love Buku sign, and many other spaces in Tobago. Really and truly, it is what I coin as taking a piece of Tobago home with you.
Great. Now, I mean, and this is something interesting because we have a lot of people making soaps and all these bath and beauty products here in Tobago. And it is very important for you to kind of form your own niche and your own pathway to stand out against the rest.
That's right.
So what would have led to you doing things like this, you know, having, you know, the logo of a business place or whatever the case may be on a soap, or, you know, making them into certain shapes? What would have led to you doing that?
Candice, it would be just as what you said. I started doing the logo soaps in 2021 during the COVID season, because, you know, we had the graduates not being able to graduate. So, and my daughter was one of them.
From what program?
From schools.
Okay.
Remember, they didn't have any graduation. So I started with the graduates of 2021. That is the first logo that I put in a soap, actually.
Wow.
And then, you know, the ideas grew. And then lately, this year, I decided to take it a little bit on the Tobago side, because I see Tobago is actually taking its place in the world.
Yes.
And so I thought I would move with the whole idea. So that is why I started putting Tobago in the soaps, and I have great aspirations for these soaps. I wouldn't tell you about it now, but you would see it.
I was just about to ask, you know,
I wouldn't tell you about it now. I mean, when you think about the diaspora, when you think about persons from Tobago that live abroad, and you think about Christmas time when they can't come home and you're missing home, getting a gift with something like this that is so unique, with a piece of Tobago or pieces of Tobago, it's heartwarming, Candice.
Yes, I could tell you, it's
just
heartwarming
brilliant.
just to see Tobago
Updates in a soap. That's right.
I mean, it's really incredible. Yes. Now, tell me about, you know, just being an entrepreneur in this space within these times, because when we talk to entrepreneurs, they have struggled naturally, as everybody has struggled with the pandemic.
Yes.
How has it been for you?
It is a struggle. It has always been a struggle. Soap making, I would speak on behalf of all, because we have a plethora of soap makers in Tobago, and it's a very expensive thing to take on. And so with the pandemic, you know, a lot of people watching their funds, and you have to be creative, make soap smaller, make it in different shapes, different designs, think about what they would need in order to get to your market, right? Another thing is that because we have such a wide array of soap makers in Tobago, you have to set yourself separate and apart from everybody else. So you always have to be on the ball, coming up with something that is creative to attract your customers. But I think where we're going now, Tobago on a whole, where we're going now, I have great aspirations for soap makers in Tobago. And hopefully in the World Food Day,
yes,
I hope to showcase, if I'm chosen, I hope to showcase, and you would see a lot more.
Okay, great. Now, so as we go on with the conversation, I just want you to tell the viewers about your products. So, you know, just start going through the products that you have. You have quite a few lined up here.
Yes.
So,
I think one of the products didn't make it to the lineup. That was the Farley Fresh, which is my recent and most I just love that product.
Farley Fresh.
Farley Fresh. That's what came out of having a conversation with a dear friend of mine, David Roberts, and he asked me, he said, you don't have anything for me to smell like the chief girl? I said, no, David. But that name, Farley Fresh, stuck with me, and I thought that I should make something, but I was just procrastinating on it. What scent do I use to really depict the chief? And I wouldn't tell him a scent, but I did come up with a nice soap and a very nice lotion, and it was launched at the World Food Day launch, and it sold out. It was a limited edition, but you are sure to see it back on the market.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to that. So unfortunately, we don't have that one, but then we just get an idea of some of the other things, other products that you have here.
So what you have here, you have a loaf of chocolate soap.
So and that's this thing.
Yes.
Hopefully the cameras can get it now. Okay, so I'll just pick it up. Oh, I'll just show you. It's quite heavy. So just tell me a little bit about, and it says
Tobago.
Tobago.
Yes.
Yes.
It's made with Nola cocoa balls. Nola is one of our very own Tobago cocoa ball makers. So it's made with her product and coconut milk. Yeah, chocolate is very good for the skin, by the way. So we have that one, and it depicts Tobago. This is just a display, and this is just to show what we do as soap makers. You make this and then you slice it up into bars, right? You have the all naturals in the black packages. Right. You have the eggshells. You have flaxseed.
Hopefully the camera can get this one.
Yes, you have sea moss. You have papaya and turmeric. A lot of different types of soaps. And then you have the one that you like the best, Candice, the picture soap, which is the customized soap.
And I mean, just have another look at it. I mean, come on. So, I mean, are you going to be selling some of these and helping us with publicity?
Yes, I will. But Candice, that one is for you.
Okay, great.
Yes?
I would treasure this one.
I hope so.
Oh, certainly.
If you look at the front, there are soaps there that are all in plastics.
Yes.
Not those, but the other one in front. Those are all in plastics. If you look at the logo on the soap, you would see it's branded Tobago as well.
I'm not too sure if the camera can pick this up. But
I doubt they can.
Yeah, I won't be able, but just right here, it's just
there's
engraved
another one
with
there.
Tobago.
Yes, there's another one there as well. And actually, the other one is the Farley Fresh.
Oh,
soap.
this one is the Farley Fresh. Okay, great. And it looks...
and it also has Tobago branded on it. I've started branding my soap since in 2018 with Tobago.
Okay.
Because I think I started thinking outside the box, not just selling soaps in the Tobago
Oh, there we go.
space.
We could see it a bit now.
Oh, lovely.
All right. So this is the Farley Fresh.
That's right.
And you're making some more.
Yes, I am.
So on that point, now how do people get in touch with you to get some of the Fali Fresh soap?
So I can be contacted on 3221858. Also, I can be contacted at Marsha's Body Delectables on Instagram and Facebook. I can be emailed at marsha'sbodydelectables@yahoo.com.
Great. All right, viewers. Well, there you have it. Just a very innovative soap maker within our space. I mean, these are wonderful. And before we go, I just want to talk about this one as well, because I realized that you have these little smellies.
So that's not a soap, but that is what you would call the other version to camphor balls. You know, we always pack away our curtains and towels and stuff, and we throw camphor balls in it. But camphor balls don't smell too great, right?
No, they don't.
So if you smell that, you'll see why we chose those in our drawers and cupboards instead of the camphor.
They
smell magnificent.
I love it.
It was born out of an idea that I had with a friend of mine, Miss Alicia McLeod Mark, and we got together and we made those, and I continued making those. I think she still does as well, and we tried to find creative ways to package them and to coin them. And if you would permit me, by the way, I must say a shout out to my 13-year-old Sana Fraser of Bishop's High School, because she would kill me if I don't. Yes, but she is one of the persons that also helped me to package and make my labels and all of that for the product.
Okay, great. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time, but
problem.
viewers, get connected with Marsha and with Marsha's Body Delectables, and get your soaps, get your Fali Fresh, get your, if you have a business, I mean, it's a wonderful way. I mean, there's also some of these as well. Just okay, that's one's blue, so we can't really show that one.
Show that one.
Okay, but we show the Tobago updates one because, you know, I mean, it's Tobago updates and we gotta love Tobago
And you're
updates.
proud of that one, aren't you?
Of course. So, you know, I mean, it's just another unique way for you to put your business out there and to, you know, just promote, whether you're throwing an event, whatever you're doing. It's just another unique personalized gift that you can give to your customers and your clients and so on. And you've got these awesome smellies and they smell really good. So get connected and, you know, have some nice smelling stuff around you.
That's right.
All right, viewers. Well, that's all we have for the program today. Thank you so much for joining us and being part of our support group. We really certainly appreciate your love. And we'll be back again tomorrow at 7 a.m. to do this all over. And we might have some new developments regarding this political situation. So you never know. So be sure to tune in at 7 a.m. tomorrow for the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And of course at 8 for the Good Morning Show with yours truly, Candace Jackson. All right, viewers, have a wonderful, safe and productive day. And we'll see you again. Bye for now.
Together we strong.